Okay, great. So today we're going to cover some pieces of marketing strategy, content strategy, and planning. And the bulk of the conversation will be a quick how-to on what we've been talking about, Linda, automating this process better using a combination of ChatGPT and Canva. I happen to know you have Canva Pro, which is what you need in order to do this. So I'm going to share my screen. And what we're going to do is start by showing you the sample template that I will be releasing to the community as a planning template. So in this template, you will see that there is some space so that you can just have your brand summary. This way you're not going all over the place looking for things where your logo is, your colors. This way you can copy and paste it, or if you're talking to people and they're like, what's your font? You and I love fonts, but you can quickly identify or give that information to somebody else. So that's
great.
here, first tab, quick summary, helps you just keep it in a single place. More importantly, and that's coming in, wonderful. Hi, Annette. Welcome, welcome. We were just starting to go through the template that I am going to be releasing to the community that's going to help you do this planning. So you have your brand summary. The next piece, which is really the most important part, is your personas. So best practices is to have 2 to 3 personas identified for your business. I'm not going to get into the definition of a persona today. That is a template and another join the conversation that we will have. But what I have done is summarized the parts of the persona that I use most often. It's a shorter version of one. What's their definition? Who are they? People tell you to name them. That's not as important to me, but let's call her Linda. So persona 1 is Linda. Linda is a business intender, ready to take the leap into entrepreneurship. And so I've got a definition there. Most important are what the concerns are. Uncertainty about where to start, struggling to prioritize, difficulty understanding, et cetera, et cetera. What are their needs and goals? So based on my market knowledge of my intended audience, I go through and I put together these definitions. What I'm then going to do is take these assumptions and copy and paste them into ChatGPT, and I'll show you why momentarily. But that's really why you want them in a single place. Once you've identified all of this, let's go see what I did within ChatGPT. And again, I will be publishing all of these scripts so that you can use them. But let's go see what happened here. So when I copied and pasted all of this information, I then went ahead and asked ChatGPT what it thought a good search criteria was for my business intender. So as a business intender, ChatGPT tells me they may be searching for these things. So now what I went ahead and did was said, great. Now, please tell me based on the themes above. So I tweaked it, made sure I liked those themes and that I agreed with those themes. Based on these themes, please give me 20 short social media headlines. So chat gave me 20 ideas, but I don't want icons in my headlines. So I said, get rid of those. And now I have my headlines and I didn't like it. So I said, let's tailor those to address fears and needs. I didn't like the tone. I didn't like the embrace the journey, celebrates, motivate. That's not my tone of voice. I wanted to think about solutions. So I tweaked it. And now I'm getting to the point where as I eye these over, I'm like, you know what? This is a great starting point. So I'm going to take these 20 headlines. And by the way, I also told it that the headline cannot be more than 100 characters. And I'll show you why when we move over to Canva. So I was very specific about the headlines. And now I went ahead and asked ChatGPT to give me the captions for each of those 20 headlines. Chat didn't like that very much. It got a little confused. So I said, I got annoyed and I said, you're not giving me what I need. You only gave me 10 captions. I finally said, okay, let me just give ChatGPT what it gave me, the 20 headlines, and ask it specifically for the engaging captions for each of these headlines. Okay. And I got back something that made me fairly happy. Okay. I'm not going to try to perfect them any further. They were good enough. I'll show you what that means. So now I said, what are the themes, ChatGPT? What is the key theme coming out of this? And so I, again, from the personas, it gave me themes, and I didn't like how fancy it sounded, right? Because my business intenders may not know what the heck a strategy is. So I said, I like those, but please simplify them. And now I got plan your business, manage your finances, and understand your market. I'm happy with this. So I have my information. Now what? Let's get to the fun stuff. Now we go back to our template and we're literally going to copy. I'm going to start by showing you that I copied the headlines. Here are my 20. I copied these. I go to our template and I now have content strategy themes for my persona. I'm giving you the option to select the persona that these were particularly intended for, whether these are meant to engage, inform, or promote. Remember that we want to go with I used to say 70, 20, 10 rule, but now I'm leaning more to 50% should be engaging awareness, 30% inform for consideration, and 20% for conversion. So I shifted that around a little bit based on what I believe is more important for small business owners rather than a big corporate brand. But you can decide what that mix is for the marketing funnel. Remember, awareness, consideration, conversion. So I want to make sure that when I'm thinking through what I copy and paste, that I understand what part of the funnel I'm trying to get my customers to engage with. So that's what I mean by value. And here are those themes it told me, right? Plan your business, understand your market, manage your finances. Those are the core themes I want to drive for that particular persona. So I'm keeping those in here because I want to keep reminding myself what the keyword themes are that came out of that Google research that I did. And last but not least, here was the magic. I did an edit, paste special, values only, and all of those headlines copied in here. And then I did exactly the same for the caption. The only thing I was not able to do, which annoyed me, was it kept the quote mark in there. So I will go through and do a control find and just space that quote and get rid of it, delete it, because it's going to get in my way later. But for the intents of this exercise, sorry, we have somebody else coming in. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. We just went through the ChatGPT prompts that got us to the place where we've identified personas. We have selected keyword themes and headlines and concepts from ChatGPT. And I'm just going to show you really quick where this came from. Here are the 20 headlines that I asked for based on the research that I gave it. Here are the 20 engaging captions for the headlines. I did let it keep some emojis in there because I believe that those make it feel a little bit more fun for my audience. That's a decision you can make. And I then copied and pasted that into the template that I will be sharing with our community. So now, if we go back in here, we have this spreadsheet. The next step is for you to go through and in this format, edit this spreadsheet. Make sure that it makes sense, that it's in your voice. Linda, for your community, the breast cancer community, that there's no words in here that you wouldn't use in your voice. Fearful words, judgy words, right? So you do want to make sure that this is edited in your voice and that the messaging is correct. Don't trust GPT 100%, ChatGPT 100%. But again, for the intent of today's lesson, let's continue and assume I've made my edits. You can see that like join us is not a useful hashtag. I would never use that. But It does have hashtags, goal setting, small biz, or small biz tips. These all look pretty good. I would go through and do a control find for join now. And I will ask it to replace it with ready plan grow. Great. Okay, so we've done that. Let's pretend we cleaned this up even further. Now we're going to go to Canva. Oh, actually, I missed a step. Before we go to Canva, we are going to go ahead and file, download as a CSV. Great, that's happening. Now we go to Canva. In Canva, I have set up a template for this particular persona. You can see, get ready to launch. It identifies the stage of business that I have identified they are in. I have a heading ready. I have my business identifier at the bottom. That's a decision you can make from your brand. Some people don't like to label every single post. Because we're a new business and I'm just getting my brand out there, I'm adding it. And I have included a second page so that when you go to Instagram, you've got that scroll, second page with more information. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Canva. And again, you have to have Canva Pro and click on bulk create. You're going to upload your CSV. Before I do that, I do want to go make sure that it looks good. So let's go in here, look at the downloads. And here's the CSV. Okay, here we go. So we have our CSV. And the only change I'm going to make in here is I'm going to delete this stuff because I don't need it. You just need the data. Okay, so you have your content, your value, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So let's save that. And now go back to Canva. And we have, just as to show newcomers, that I went into Canva. I had a template already ready to go that I identified with this persona. This is the design that I want for most of these posts. And I'm going to go to Canva Premium, bulk create, upload CSV, grab the template, open it. And now you're going to see that it's here. Sorry, okay. So here are the fields. Okay. Content strategy, and it didn't pick up the headlines in here. So I'm going to have to go look and see which one. 1, 2, it's the third and fourth field. Really, what I really want is the third field right now. So 1, 2, 3, this should do. Okay, so now you're going to right click here. And why isn't that working? Here we go. Here we go. And you're going to connect the data. Okay. And I believe it's the third field. It's got one empty row, but let's go see if it works. I might have to go back and fix. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Let's go back. Must be the next one. Connect data. And it must be this one. It should have the headlines in it. I'm going to have to go tweak the template for us to fix that. Here we go. So here are, I'll just select all. Here is all of those headlines that we created, right? 24 of them. And now we're just going to click generate 49 designs. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we had those empty fields. Conquer self-doubt with clear goals. Learn to research your target market. So here is that information that we agreed were the headlines that we wanted to include. And now all of the time that you're saving and copying and pasting, you can go through and tweak it a bit based on the design, because of course the content's going to be a little bit longer or shorter in certain sections. But now you have an opportunity to very quickly just crank through it, fix it, and get ready to publish. This saves me a tremendous amount of time. So now what I will do is download all of these, go into Meta and schedule my posts. As I'm scheduling them, all I now have to do is go back to my template and grab the captions and copy and paste the captions into Meta that belong to each of those headlines. So this is how, using personas, you can create easily a month worth of posts to get that algorithm to work for you. Recently at my corporate job, I have found that posting daily is really helping us get into the algorithm. I normally recommend 3 times a week, but we test a lot to see when we get more engagement. So this allows me to post daily, to post 3 to 5 times a week by uploading it all. The hardest part is the creation of that, or, that initial content, and then copying and pasting only takes a few minutes. Depending on the structure of your business, you can have an admin do that because you've approved the content, you've looked at it, you're happy with it, you've downloaded it, and now Linda just has to package it up and say, I'm going to get a virtual admin to copy and paste this into Meta for me, and I believe that I am good to go for about 30 days of content, at least from a planned perspective. And now you can focus on the lives, the real-time stories, and the more day-to-day stuff that may add more engagement to your brand, with your customers. But at least the bulk of that creation is done in one fell swoop. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
You're on mute, Linda.
Sorry, I have a question as far as so you're downloading these and you have 46 designs, I think, or 46 pages, and there's 2 per.
Mm-hmm.
So does that separate them for you, or does it?
No, Canva hasn't gotten that far yet. So when you download them, then you'll need to upload them into Meta or your scheduling tool, depending on what you're using, one at a time. So the saving is really in the editing of the content, creating the voice, using ChatGPT to prompt it, getting that export to happen. And now rather than doing one at a time, you do that bulk export.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Are there any questions about the process? And does anybody want me to scroll through ChatGPT again just to see the conversation that I had with Chat to get my results? You would
Could
like
you
to
just go a little bit slower on it?
Yeah, great. So I'm
Thank
going to go back. Let's go see Chat. So remember, this has to start with information from you, and I started with my personas. So you have to develop your personas first, and then you can copy this information into Chat. And I'm just going to do it from scratch just for fun. And then we'll go through what I did. So go ahead.
This is Mikhail, not Michelle. I use that
Oh,
for
hi, Mikhail.
on meetings with a bunch of vendors that are haranguing me.
No.
So
Hi.
yeah, and I realize, how Zoom remembers your last ID. So anyway, I see you're using 3.5 and not 4 for this. Wow. Okay. I wasn't sure if there was a reason for that or not.
I'm not paying for it.
Well, I know that, but the functionality exists of what you did in 3.5.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's take a look. So yeah, ChatGPT version I'm using is free. It's Canva that has to be premium in order to use that functionality. So I am a founder of a small business community and want to plan 20 days of social media posts. Here is my persona. Please give me 20 headlines for social media that are no more than 100 characters. Yep. Okay. Here it goes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I'm looking at this and saying, these are not benefits for my end user. You are only promoting my brand. Please give me 20 benefit statements that solve the problem for my persona. Here we go. I'm already happy. See this? Great. I like those. Now give me 20 social media captions that are friendly and provide the solution to those headlines. You can use no more than 2 emojis, and the call to action is join our community. Include 3 hashtags and 1 must be small biz. Great. So let's see if it listens to me this time. The first time that I did this, it didn't match the 20. So this time it looks like it is. So all I did was copy those 20 into the spreadsheet, copy the 20 captions into the spreadsheet. I then go into edit mode, download that CSV and connect to them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Great. So what I want to do though is go back to the persona and just show you a couple of things that I didn't like. So here are, for example, I said, based on all of the information you wrote, what are the themes for the content strategy that you just gave me? And it said supportive, clarity, overcoming. And I said, those are life coaching themes. I need business themes, right? Because I'm not a life coach. Apologies. And now it gave me this. I then said, please simplify. The titles are too complex. Give me 3 titles. There are the 3 themes. I took all of that, and just to review it with you again, let's go back and look at the spreadsheet. This is the persona information I gave it. Here are then the themes, the keyword theme that it came back with. Here are the headlines, the captions. Yes, I made sure it has a call to action, and I'm going to mark it as created. And I am done. And then, like I said, I go through and make sure that I agree whether I'm engaging, informing. This is understand your market. I like that. That's an inform. Plan your business. That's an inform, right? These are mostly inform, which is fine. And unlock growth, there's one here. Find mentorship that fits. That is what? That is brand awareness. And I am engaging them, and that's what that one is. So categorizing these for me is important so that as the month goes on, I can say, did I apply enough information to each persona? Did I do enough brand awareness? Did I do enough sales conversion posts? And now you'll use the same process to ask ChatGPT to create that information based on your brand Bible, which is again, a new template that I'm working on to show you how to create the brand guideline with your value proposition and all of the language that most of you know, mission, vision, value proposition, etc. We'll create those. And then based on that, we'll plug that into ChatGPT to get brand related posts and use the same methodology that we just saw. Yes?
Beautiful.
Great. Any questions on the process and why the initial thinking, that initial planning is so, sorry, I hadn't, is so important. Great. So I'm currently working with Annette. And hold on, I have a question. Yes, let me show you again. I did show that, but I am more than happy to show you again. It's really straightforward. What I'm going to do before I do so is clean up the spreadsheet, and I will make sure that I want to open it in Excel. This is going to drive me insane. File open. So I downloaded the spreadsheet in a CSV. Now I'm going to open it in here and make sure that I don't have the information. I don't care about this. I don't care about this. I don't care about these empty columns. So let's just get rid of them. And we don't care about this. Okay. So we really don't care about the theme. That's more for planning. So now we're good. Let's save it. Great. Let's go back into chat. Here is my template. I'm going to actually shorten it a bit just based on what I saw happen earlier. And we're going to go back.
Are you sharing your screen?
Should have been. Oh, I wonder why that stopped. Here I go. Thank you for saying that, Michaela. Guys, just let me talk to myself all night. Okay, so I went into ChatGPT. I'm sorry, into Canva. So I got to get all my Zoom stuff out of the way. I had already created a template that I believed represents this persona, my ready, right? Get ready. That initial persona that we defined. I'm going to do
Sorry, Marcella, sorry to cut in.
No.
I'm talking about the actual plugin in ChatGPT. I saw this already and I know how to do this part, but there's a
Yeah,
plugin.
it's right here.
that,
It's literally
I
called
wasn't
bulk
fam-
create. So you scroll down and you find bulk create.
No, so this is in ChatGPT. So I think maybe
There's no plugin
the
for
answer to the question
ChatGPT.
is no.
So what you do, let me just walk you through that again. When you're in chat, all you have to do is grab,
Okay, I see. So
copy.
I know how to do this. This is not what I was asking about. Sorry.
Okay, that's
I
okay.
didn't mean to cause any confusion, but if you would actually need an upgraded plan for it as well, but there's a plugin directly in
Yes,
ChatGPT
you can.
that'll help you create images, but I haven't used it yet. So I was wondering if you were going to cover that in this session.
No, I do not cover. The only paid tool that I will promote is Canva because I think it's an absolute necessary tool. With
Yeah, same.
ChatGPT, I find that for those of us using it, like I have in my corporate job, we have paid Chat Enterprise and I use it and we have all sorts of rules and things in there. But for small business owner, adding another, what is it, $15 a month? I just don't think it's worth it. But she's absolutely right. You can connect with apps and you're not even doing all of this back and forth. It just glues itself together. But I'm only doing that in corporate, so I can't use that one. I'm using the free version so that you guys can see that it works by copying and pasting. But yes, you're right, Gasman. That's absolutely how it would work. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So I hope today was valuable. I will be releasing these templates and I will also be giving you the basic 101s on creating personas so that you can review them And one of the big things that I'll be pushing the community to do is show me the work. I want to see your three questions. I want to see that you're actually developing your personas. I was about to say earlier, I'm now working with Annette on creating a brand for her. So we're going through the process of a new brand, and we'll follow all of this all the way through. Linda, who is more advanced in her business journey, she's many years into her nonprofit, is working on her content strategy for the year. She knows what didn't work last year. She knows what personas she wants to nurture more. So we're going to review this and see what the content strategy is going to be for this year so that she can what? Bulk create and add more value to that target market by thinking through the messages that will work. Now, for her business to business content, it's going to go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform that Linda's company has not taken advantage of as much because she's been focused on her direct to consumer marketplace. But this year, she knows that her business strategy, which she has already shared with me, has to be corporations, corporate sponsors. So she's going to think through the content strategy, the blogs, etc., for those corporate sponsors, use this process and make sure that LinkedIn, which also now has a scheduling tool, is bulked up and ready to go to drive traffic back to the nonprofit so that we can exceed our fundraising goals this year. Okay. Great. Well, thank you for joining me.